I'm back, baby. What is going on, YouTube? Z Dragons here, back with another video for you guys. And in today's video, we're going to be going over the OP13 leader, Red, Yellow, Belo, Betty. If you guys are enjoying the content, please make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. The new goal for the channel is going to be reaching 100 subscribers. So every single subscriber counts. And I appreciate all the stuff you guys have done with subscribing, reaching our last goal of 50. So keep on subscribing, liking, and commenting. Now, we'll go over the leader. The leader is a Revolutionary Army type leader, red, yellow, dual color, 4 life, 5,000 power, active in main once per turn. You may discard 1 Revolutionary Army type card from your hand, give up to 3 of your Revolutionary Army or trigger type characters, plus 3,000 power for this turn. So this leader is going to get very fast, very quickly. If you guys do not have a lot of time when you're playing card games, this is the leader you guys want to play. And let's just quickly go over the deck list and some notable cards. So we have 4 copies of the Belo Searcher. We have 4 copies of the Tuka Counter Koala, running 2 copies of the Bartolome Kuma, running 4 copies of the Empori Ivankov. This card is going to be very crucial against decks that can KO your board. Establishing this allows you to, or gives you guys some protection for the board. Running 2 copies of the Rush Inazuma, 4 copies of the Morley, another important card, especially in this current meta where there's a lot of blockers. This allows you to attack without your opponent activating the blocker for the battle. 2 copies of the Tuka Counter Sabo. This card, this 4-cost Ivankov, one of the MVPs of the deck. If he has 7,000 power or more, you can cheat out another Rev Army type character with 5,000 power or less from your hand. And probably the biggest MVP of the deck, Karasu, on play and when attacking, or on play you give minus 1,000 power to your opponent's leader or character. Most likely you're going to pick the leader, but when attacking, if he has 7,000 power or more, giving an additional minus 1,000 power is just insane. Especially if you can play out 1 from hand when you already have 1 on the board and then swing with 1 from board. So now it's minus 2k power for the entire turn. 2 copies of the Lindbergh, 3 copies of the 5-cost Ivankov, 2 copies of Rush Dragon, 2 copies of Karasu Blocker, 4 copies of the Tuka Counter Kuma, 3 copies of the 6-cost Koala, and we are running 4 copies of the Stage. Some people might think it might be too many copies of Stage, but with our leader effect always pitching a card from hand, that means if we don't want to use it, we can just use it as a pitch for leader effect. Thank you guys for watching the deck profile, and now let's go on to the gameplay. Alright guys, and in this game we will be versing a purple-yellow Charlotte Pudding, and we do see a decent amount of early game here, so we will look to keep this hand. We will play out the Belo Searcher, and we will grab that 4-cost Ivankov. Ivankov is just way too nice to cheat out more and more bodies. And Charlotte Pudding swinging 8 into our leader, we will have to take that. And we do see a Morley trigger, very nice. We will trash the Koala to play out the Morley. And already it is looking very advantageous for us, being able to have more bodies on the board. Now we will play out the Ivankov, and we will pitch the Karasu for lead effect. Then we will cheat out the Karasu, and now we're going to be swinging 5s into 4s. 5, 4, 5, 4, and then a big 8 into 4. And they do grab that 10 costs. Now we'll swing another 5 into 4. And they do take that as well. That very questionable decision from our opponent and they take all 3 attacks. This is not looking good for Pudding. Which does bring up the question, how many bricks are in the Pudding's hand? Playing out the 4 cost Mr. 2, being able to ramp 1 active. 3 Dawn remaining. What can we expect here from our opponent? Possibly looking to clear out the Morley, attach all 3. Yep. And there is a situation here where we just give 2 2Ks. And I think that is the case. We give 2 2Ks and now we are just going to... Yeah, our opponent just gives up. There was nothing they could do. Ooh, very poor hand by our opponent. Yeah, having 2 0 cost event looks like a lot of bricks. Having only 1 2K, 2 1Ks. Unfortunate for our opponent, and we just had a very good opening trigger with the Morley that allowed us to have a more advantageous board for us. And let's go on to the next game here. And in this game, we'll be taking on Red Silver's Rayleigh. We will choose to go second here. Ooh, absolutely beautiful. 2 Belo Betty searchers. This is going to be a rough game for our opponent. Our opponent deciding, and they do end up keeping their hand, using a Shakuyaku searching the top 5, grabbing that 0 cost event. And now we're going to play out both of our Belo Betty searchers. We will grab that Ivankov first, and second search. I'm very tempted here to grab this Karasu. I'm going to grab the Karasu. I think double Karasu is just absolutely insane. It is going to be very scary for the Silver's Rayleigh very soon. Now, Silver's Rayleigh on their 3 Dawn turn. I do know that the Silver's Rayleigh deck likes to play out a lot of small bodies and swing 5s. So they are going to swing a 5 with the Shakuyaku. We will take this. Ooh, and we see another Morley trigger. This is... the luck is lucking for us right now. And 2 non-active. They're going to swing another 5 into us. This one we will actually give a 1K counter for. And what will our opponent play with the 2 Dawn remaining? Playing out a 2 cost Monkey D. Luffy. Attaching 2 Dawn to the character so he cannot be KO'd when battling a strike attribute character. Now we will play out the 4 cost Ivankov here. And we will use our leader effect, pitching a Koala 2K to empower these 3. We just really want to go wide in the situation. And cheating out a Karasu, giving -1 to the lead. And now we are going to swing 5s into 4. And let's see how many cards out of our opponent's hand we can take out. This first attack, our opponent determining whether to counter or whether to just take. I think the first attack you do look to take. As you can already see, there's no more active Dawn here, so you do know that we're just going to be going with 5s, which is, and they do decide to take. We will swing another 5 into 4. Our opponent really is going to need 2K counters in their hand, and they do give us a Brook 2K, and we'll swing another 5 into 4. We are just really putting pressure in our opponent's hand right now, and they do take, and that is perfectly fine. We're perfectly okay with reducing the 5 life leader down to 3. Now, can we get him down to 2 life, or will he give us a 2K out of hand? I think in this situation, if you do not have a 2k in hand, do not give 2 1ks. It is perfectly okay to play at 2 life. And our opponent just trying to figure out what they want to do. And they do take, which does make me wonder if our opponent has any 2ks in their hand, or if they're just really comfortable playing this deck with a very low life early on in the game. And mind you, we only have 2 cards in hand, so only having 2 cards in hand, our opponent will be able to clear out our board very effectively, or even they can look to target our life. So we'll have to see what our opponent decides that they want to do. And they are grabbing another 0 cost event here. And let's see what our opponent's going to focus more on, whether to clear out the board or to attack our life. 3 into 2, we will let that go. A 5 into 2, we will let that go as well. A 7 into 5, I cannot give both cards out of my hand, so we'll unfortunately have to let the Morley die as well. I think in that situation, if I could just give it 2k, so if it was a 6 into 5, I would look to defend the Morley, but I could not do it at what the situation was. So now we need to determine what we are trying to go for, and whether we want to slow our opponent down a little bit and attack into their board. Because I really do want to play out this 5 cost Ivankov here to cheat out a second body. Because we do know they have at least 3 0 cost events in hand. So it might not be worth actually going for life, and we actually should look to go for board here. So let's play out the 5 cost Ivankov, and we will actually cheat out this Lindbergh as Lindbergh, or should we go with the Sabo, because we can give power with the Sabo. We will actually go with the Sabo just so that we can rest Sabo and give power to the Ivankov. And then we are going to be able to cheat out the Karasu. Give -1 to their leader. And we can look here to go 5 into 2. And we can go 7 into 3. Our opponent right now trying to figure out whether to counter out or not. And looks like they are going to counter out. So they will reduce us to a 6k attack and then give 2 1ks. So I do believe my theory was correct, where our opponent does not have any 2ks in hand. We'll attach 1 to the Karasu and swing into the Luffy. I didn't really want to swing with Karasu this turn, but because they counter out, I do think we need to get rid of the Luffy here. And we are successful in getting rid of the Luffy. And we also having a pretty decent sized board here, so possibly we can look to go for game next turn. And we did only get out 1 of these 0 cost events out of the 3. They do show us the other 2. And they're just swing 5 into our lead. We will take this. Ooh, and we do see a Morley trigger. But unfortunately we do have to trash a card from our hand. So I think we do want to keep the 2k here. And it does look our opponent might be looking to go for game. Let's see what our opponent decides to do. Making their Zora into a 6k power attack. Yeah, this one we are going to counter before they possibly start swinging with bigger attacks. So we're going to counter out of it while we can. 3 active Dawn remaining. They do have the Luffy, which can become a 6k power. If you have 2 or more attached Dawn cards on the field, this character gains plus 2k power. Yeah, so it looks like they could have potentially swing 7, 8, and swing 6 into us. We will take no trigger. And they do play out a Nami search. But with only 2 active Dawn remaining, they must be looking for a 2k counter, would be my guess, or possibly a Radical Beam for that 1 cost plus 4k. And they do grab a 4 cost Monkey D. Luffy, but it's only a 1k counter. And they do not swing with the other Luffy here. So now it is our turn to look for game. We will trash the Revolutionary Army stage, giving plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 here. And we will start by swinging 8 into 4. They do take. Is there a trigger? Our opponent contemplating what to do. Our opponent is in a very tough decision, especially the fact that we had the 2 Karasus on the board. I think our opponent should have looked to clear out our board instead. Ooh, and they do hit into a Gum Gum King Kong Gatling, KOing our Sabo. Thankfully, it was not the other Karasu here. So we're going to swing another 8 into their lead, making their lead a 3k power. And we'll attach 3 to Ivankov, swinging 9 into 3. There is no way our opponent is getting out of this. And they are going to give us a 0 cost to go to 5. And a Luffy and another 0 cost to go to 8. And they do have enough to get out of it, but we still have 2 more attacks. Very difficult position for our opponent. And look at that, guys. We have a Karasu blocker at the last life. That would have been insane if they tried to go for game and we just had that come out. Alright, and let's go on to the next game now. Alright, and now we have the Battle of the Revolutionary Army Leaders. We see 3 Karasus in our opening hand, but that is not going to do it for us. We need to have, you know, be able to spam out more bodies than just drop a Karasu every turn. So this turn, we will play out the Ivankov just to get a body on the board. Because I do not believe Red Black Sabo really has any effects that can KO our characters. Oh, besides the Hawk, this will be good into the Hawk blocker. 7 into 5 here, we will take this. Unfortunately, we do not see a trigger, but that is okay. And our 4 Dawn turn here, we will play out the 8 cost Ivankov, or 4 cost Ivankov. And we will actually pitch the Koala here to give plus 3. And we will cheat out this Lindbergh. And then we will swing with our leader first. I don't really want to swing with the Ivankov right now, as I actually do want to keep this on the board alive, just to help protect us against that hack. And our opponent has their own Karasu that they are playing. And also this promo Koala giving one rested Dawn to a leader character. Now swinging 5 into 4 here, we will take this, and we just see a Belo Betty Searcher off the life. And now we will play out this 5 cost Ivankov, cheating out the Morley. And we can look to be aggressive here. We'll pitch this Ivankov, and we will give these 3 +3. And we will go 6 into 4 here. And then we will go 8 into 4, popping the koala. And we will go another 8 into 5 with the Ivankov. And our opponent does take all of the attacks. Our opponent now on their 7 Dawn turn, so they can play out the Sabo blocker if they choose to. And our opponent has a pretty healthy size. I never draw anything that's helpful into this matchup. And it does look like our opponent is struggling in this matchup right now, not seeing anything they need. And they do see that 6-cost Sabo blocker, giving 1 arrested to their leader. And just needing to give 1 more Dawn to their Karasu, yep. And attacking into our Ivankov, which that we will have to let go. And attacking into the Lindbergh here, we will actually look to counter out, just keeping our board state nice and large. And I think we are going to have to look to get rid of the Karsu. We will play out the... There is potential that we can just play out Koala here, reduce Karasu into a 3-cost, 3k, and then look to swing into that. I do think that might be the play here. So we'll play out Koala, giving minus here, and we will start with a 5 into 3. Let's force our opponent to give us as much cards out of hand this turn. And they do just give us the Karasu. Ooh, and actually we didn't even need to swing into the Karasu. Because of the Lindbergh, we could have actually just popped it. So that is a mistake by me, guys. And we will use leader effect. Pitching the Kuma to give +3, +3, +3. And we're going to be swinging very hefty into our opponent. 6, 8, 10, 10. Okay, yep. So here's a 10 into 6. Popping the Garp. And they do take. Here is another 10 into 6. And they do take. And here is a 11 into 6. And they are going to counter with a 2k 2k and pass the turn. And I think and their opponent does play out the Garp to search top 4. I think our opponent's best play right here is going to be to play out the Rush Dragon. Ooh, they do see a Gold Roger, but I don't know if the game's going to be going that far for our opponent. I do think we just win next turn. Yep, and our opponent does give up. Doesn't look like they had really much that they could do. Unfortunately, not seeing any dragons I think does really hurt them. Ooh, and seeing stage as their next top, I do think Red Black Sabo needs to see stage rather early on in order to then find the pieces that they need, while also filling up the trash that can then be cheated out later with the 8-cost Black Dragon. Alright, and let's go on to the next game. And in this game, we will be taking on Purple Charlotte Katakuri. We will choose to go second here. Very nice seeing that Belo Betty Searcher. And they do play out a Anana. So I am very tempted just to play out the Kuma just to KO it, and I think we will do that actually. Now Katakuri on their 3 Dawn turn here. I guess we can expect for them to play out that 3-cost Charlotte Pudding, so that way they can regain any Dawn that they do Dawn minus effects with. But our opponent's still trying to figure out what they want to do right here. Attaching 1 Dawn to Katakuri. And they are just going to swing a 6 right here. We will take that. Unfortunately, we do not see a trigger. 2 Dawn remaining right here. And they're going to pass the turn with 2 Dawn available. And we're going to play out the Belo Betty, grabbing the Ivankov. And then we will play out the Morley. And we will pitch a Morley for a leader effect. And we're just going to start attacking. We are reversing a 5 life leader. So I do think it's important for us to just be able to just swing as much as we can into them. Playing out the Noru beam, arresting our Morley. So it is very crucial that we have that correct sequencing, swinging with the Kuma character first. Otherwise they would be able to rest, if we swing with our leader first, they'd be able to rest the Kuma, and then they could just start attacking Takuma. 5 with our leader, they do take, and we'll pass the turn right here. And in this situation, they're just going to have to go clear the Kuma, because if they do look to attack the Morley, because Morley is a 5,000 power character, it's going to be a lot easier for us to protect him with our counter in hand. And they do play out a 4-cost Charlotte Oven. Swinging 5 into the 2k power Kuma, and we are going to let that go. And now they are able to KO our Morley. That is not too good for us. But we will look to play out the 5-cost Ivankov. And we will cheat out this Koala, just so that we can give minus to the oven. And we can now look to start swinging into the oven right here. And we will pass the turn. There is a scenario where we can just swing with the Belo Betty into the oven and then use the 6 to swing into their leader. But I do think it's good that if we can keep our Belo Betty active, and there is the 3-cost Charlotte Pudding. But like I was saying, I do think it is important to keep our Belo Betty active so that when we do play out the Karasu and make their leader 4, we can really force our opponent to have a counter or force them to take life. Swinging 6 into 5 here, I do think right here we do give a 2k in this situation. Katakuri going to be going to their 8 Dawn turn next turn. They're going to be getting very large. Most likely going to be dropping down that 8-cost Katakuri blocker. So here we will play out the... I think we can play out the Koala into then the Ivankov. Yeah, we will do that. We'll play out the Koala taking top of life to then play out the Ivankov and drawing a card. And now we can look to trash a... We can look to trash a Koala, give +3, +3, and +3 right here. Then we'll start with the 5,000 to their lead. They give us a 1k counter. Then we'll attach these 2 Dawn to the Ivankov, cheating out a Karasu, replacing the Belo Betty, giving -1 to their lead. Then we'll swing a 5 into 4. And they do take, so that is kind of an indicator for us that they do not have a 2k in hand, because that would have been a very easy 2k. And they do take the 6, and now we're swinging a big 9 into 4, which they are going to have to take. And now our opponent in a very desperate situation right here. And they do play out a Charlotte Cracker. Play up to 1 Cracker Soldier from your hand, and they are going to be able to get down a Cracker Soldier blocker. And having 4 Dawn remaining, I do think if we are able to counter out of any of these attacks they swing into Koala or Ivankov, we will look to counter with a 3k counter in our hand. Swinging 5 into 3. This one I do think we block, and then we still have 3k, so if they attach 2 right here, it'll be 7 and then use their leader effect. Oh no, it looks like they are going to go wide. And where is this attack going to be going? 6 into 3, we will let that go. And most likely they will look to swing 6 into either one of these bodies, would be my guess. Oh no, they are swinging 5 into our lead. So this we will gladly take. And we see a trigger, absolutely amazing for us. Now we have 5 bodies on the board, and this turn is going to hurt our opponent immensely. So we will give plus to Karasu, plus to Ivankov, and plus to the other Karasu. And we are going to swing 8 into 4. Always swing. Make sure with this Belo deck, you're always swinging with Karasu first, and to give minus 1000 power to their leader for the entire turn. And they do use leader effect to get up to 5. And now they're going to have to give us 2 2Ks in hand. And they started off with a 1K. That is, and another 1K, and another 1K. And there is the last 1K. Giving up, I believe that is 4 cards in hand, is absolutely insane by our opponent. But now because they are a 4K, we can just attach 1 to our lead and swing a very simple 6 into 4, as they will not have the counter for this. And we'll attach 1 here to swing an 8 into 4. They're going to have to give us the blocker, and that is going to be game for our opponent. Very unfortunate. Our opponent did not see the late game stuff that they needed, and we just had way too much early game pressure for our opponent. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Make sure, if you guys want, comment down below and just let me know if you guys want to see any decks that I can maybe make a deck list for you guys and play it out. And make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. The goal is going to be to reach 100 subscribers. That's going to be a huge milestone for the channel. And I will catch you guys at the next video. Peace.